I think I'm dirtier.
Yeah. Do I need to keep going a little further?
Well, let's see what it's doing here. It's still coming pretty good.
Had a couple of big cave-ins on it now that we got the water out. And the mud with this post hole digger just sticks like glue. It's gonna take a long time to fix. I can't get the trencher back over it. It'll just tear everything up. It's so muddy. Frustrating, but we'll get it done. I was trying to drive the tractor back across and it tried to fall in. So I'm gonna go get some sheets of plywood so I can get across the trench here safely to be able to, it's just, the mud is just sticking to the shovels. It weighs 100 pounds on the shovel and it won't come out of the post hole digger. You know, it's like glue. So we're just gonna get the trencher back on here, clean this up, get this pipe in. Hopefully it's raining now again, of course. One thing after another today. Well, now we're just screwed. The tractor's just tearing everything up. We got this piece of plywood so I could drive it across here. But when I got to here with one wheel on one side, one wheel on the other, the tractor didn't want to steer. It was just sliding in the mud. And I was getting ready to drop my right wheel down into the trench. We've had another big cave in. This part here caved in. That's where I had those boards across earlier. And I don't know how long this is going to stay before it falls in. It's not going well. Tons of rain, tons of mud. It's going to be like this for days. If this was dry, I could clear it by hand. But because it's so heavy and muddy, when I use the post hole digger, it just sticks in there like a... Oh, God. So now, because I didn't fix that, which we had the trencher, and I was going to run like a gutter through here to purposely send the rainwater, but so now I haven't done that. If it would have given me 2 or 3 more days, we've had this torrential rain, and then it's cut this big hole in the driveway today. It's not that deep, a couple inches. But, you know, I just had the trencher here to fix this all, so it was going to be done right, and we got this horrendous amount of rain, and I messed up. Just didn't get it done in time. Go forward a little, just go slow, if I'll let you do it. It's pretty. It's destructive, but it's pretty. We've had so much rain. Even this little area washed out here. Not bad, but enough where it can rake it out.
That we have a drain pipe.
Very little's coming out of the drain pipe over there. But the worst part is something that's never ever happened before. Again, I was just getting ready to cut some little side gutters with the trencher in here. And then this part washed out right here. That's never happened. And we've had a lot of rain here. It's pretty foggy out this morning. We haven't had rain for about 12 hours. That's nice. So we went to redig the trench where the cave-ins were, and the trench caved in with the tractor on it, slid it into the hole. I mean, it was frame on the ground kind of deal. So I used this tractor to lift this one up. Now I'm gonna put dirt and boards underneath of it so I can get this thing back out of the hole. And then we're just gonna dig a new trench where it's bad. That's just the safest and easiest thing to do. It's too muddy and unstable right now. So because of all the cave-ins and collapses on that initial one, our awesome neighbors that we love so much came over and said, hey, just dig a new trench and bypass all that. We'll fill it in and fix it. It's on the back corner of their yard. They're like, it's okay. So we have 2 trenches through the yard. That one's unused because it collapsed so many times. We've got about 200 feet of pipe in right now, and we're going to town. It's going good. This is where we had to join the 2 trenches together. It worked out well, and hopefully we won't have any more problems this way. I had the water drained out of it yesterday. But it was so nice of them to tell us just to do a second trench. We were struggling. It was very unsafe. I was trying to run. We couldn't use the handheld stuff on it, so we were using the trencher, and the trencher was collapsing the sidewall and falling in the hole. I had to get their tractor to get the trencher out a couple of times today, maybe 3 times. We got some big sheets of plywood that we put down that we were using, and it was a nightmare. But we got it. We're getting it done. We're getting the pipe in. Hopefully today we'll get it all in, and then they'll come on Monday and do their inspection, and then it can get buried, and we can start working on the yard. But we're using the what's that stuff called? Do you remember what? Yeah, something it has a name. Whatever it is, it's a special. So that's what they're going to use. They'll hook their electrical wires to it and pull it through. So crazy. So we're getting the hole dug for this, making sure we got the dimensions right. We got to shift everything over a couple more inches that way, and then we still have 7 more inches to go down because it goes on a 4-inch rock base. So, but we got the overall thing done here. Okay, so that hole's dug. Boy, oh boy. And then the main line comes in and comes up out of the right-hand front edge corner there, and then the coming out comes out of the left-hand front corner, and that's going to come this way to our temporary pole. That only needs to be 24 inches down, but this one needs to be 36 inches down over there, which it is. We just got a little bit to fill. It's 36 inches down until a foot from this box, but there's loose dirt that we got to get out with the manual post hole digger. But this is a little bit low right now. We got 4 inches of gravel that's going to go under it, compacted gravel, and then make sure it's level, and then we'll get the pipes in there. Okay, we are almost done. Just a couple more hours work here and I think we'll be all set. So that last pipe there has an elbow that's 3 foot. So that pipe goes down 3 feet, comes up into the corner. It comes into the right corner of that box. That is the main service line is going to come through there. And then from there, it'll go to the transformer, and then out of the transformer on that corner, and then come down, and it's going to come this way. Only 24 inches deep over here. We're only going to run about 10 feet to a temporary pole that we're going to have power out here at the property. 4 inches of crushed stone is going underneath of that. I need to confirm that before I do it, but I'm going to finish trenching this here. We did use the trencher yesterday to dig most of this hole, but you can't dig the whole thing. So as you can see, there's I went about every 8 to 10 inches across there and just kind of dug out a trench across and then removed the middle part by hand. And then we ended up having to go a little deeper than what we thought with it. So we did use the power tool, but it still was a lot of shoveling. All that dirt over here came out with the shovel by hand, and then maybe a third of that, squaring things up and getting it better. So, but anyways, this is done mostly. There's just some dirt there that needs to come out with the manual postal digger. We'll clear it out to get that pipe that goes in, and then the one that comes out, and then we're going to use the trencher for our 10-foot long trench over here to our temporary pole that's going to be on this part of the property. This has been a lot of work, but it's almost done. So I'm redigging a trench to kind of send the rainwater here. Where I have all this gravel at, I actually have drain tile buried under here that goes under the driveway and carries it away, but it was just plugged up, I think, and not enough access. So I'm having it so it goes downhill into that area, and then I think the water will start to flow through there, though. I'd like to dig it out and actually find the drain tile itself to leave it exposed, but that's where it's at, is that area there. Now that water will no longer come into here, which look at it, flooded this out and put it and deposited all the stuff on top of my rock here. So we're gonna pull up a bunch of tree roots today. The tractor can knock them over, which is why we left them all, the stumps, kind of tall, because then the tractor can push on them. But to make it even easier, if you see how all the roots come out pretty close to the surface and go out to the side, that's what's, anchoring them in real strong. So I'm using the trencher to just run along the side of the tree roots, these great big ones. It cuts through them. This thing is 6 inches in diameter here, maybe more. It cut right through it like nothing. So there's this particular tree is 2 trees together as one. It's very large. That's the smaller of the 2. So I'm just going around and cutting the roots on the bottom, and I'll come in on this side and do it too, and then the tractor should have no trouble just pulling that thing right out of there. This one would have been too hard for it to do all on its own. These other ones I did just using the tractor all on its own, and it leaves big holes everywhere. But busting through these roots, this was kind of a big one here. It's just a lot of work. So if I got the trencher here, I can just cut these big major roots on these things real quick. Bam, bam, bam. And then we'll come in here with the tractor and get everything cleared out. This is where the shop is going to go. Today we're going to move that water line so it doesn't run under the shop, so it's not going to ever be interfered if we have to get to it. So we're going to reroute it, but we got to clear these trees out, and then we're going to use the trencher to bury it. Frost line here is only 12 inches, 12 to 16 inches. So the water line only has to be buried 2 feet. 2 feet, there's not a lot of rock by the time you get down to 2 feet here. So the trencher will make a quick work of being able to bury that water line. I still got to get some freeze-proof spigots for it. The kind with the handle on the top, kind of like an old well pump. But the valve for it is 2 feet down in the ground so they don't freeze. We're going to put a couple of those. We have garden hose attachments out here on the property for now. But we're going to get it buried. It's been in the shade now. Everybody's, oh, you can't have pecks in the sun. And they're correct, which is why we ran it through the shade and tried to cover it whenever we could if it wasn't in the shade. So it's only been out for a little over a month. I'm not so worried about it. It's going to get buried today. And we just got to reroute it and remove a few trees in order to do that. So we got a lot of work cut out for us today, but I think we're going to make good progress. So we're disconnecting the pecks here. These shark bites, you can undo them. They make a tool that goes on there, but you can just use a good crescent wrench on there. Put it up against the side, push it in. Once this is pushed in, then you can pull the pipe out. We disconnected it, so we're going to bury these water lines here, but we're going to rerun this one to a different spot. So we're putting the PEX line in here. There's the water line trench. It's going down by our bus. Goes all the way around Larry here. Nice. Now we won't have our water freezing in the winter time. If I use the trencher to go in a square around the tree roots, and again, that's a big one, and then I can just take the tractor and just knock them right over. So we'll be able to pull all these stumps out. The little ones I can do with the big tractor anyways, but these bigger ones I don't want to have to fight with it, and it just literally takes 60 seconds to maybe a minute or two at the most to cut around these. So you can see I've already started doing a whole bunch of them. Forks make it easy to carry the tree stumps around on them too. Just once you knock them out of the ground, you can just scoop them up. And I'm gonna take them to the burn pile and hopefully be able to burn them down. It's getting ready to storm real bad here. We got a lot of the big stumps out today. This one's ready to come out right here. That one's out. A couple here to pick up. I got one larger cedar one right there that needs to come out. That kind of tri-forked one right there needs to come out. That are the bigger ones that I'm worried about. These little ones, the tractor gets these no problem. I don't have anything special to them. We left the stumps up high. But we got most of the big trees out of here today. A lot of the wood out of here. We even cut up this large pine over here. The one that was like 73 feet tall or whatever it was. I forgot, but yeah, we cut that one up. Great big tree. So we can, I can pick it up now with the forks. I think the forks will pick it up. It might be too heavy, but I don't think so. We saved the cedars. We cut them into like 10-foot sections so we can send them into the sawmill. And that's why there's all these big chunks of cedar out here still. So, but we're gonna go put those in a pile somewhere. Obviously, we've got lots of holes to fill. Once we start backfilling out here, we'll use the box blade with the rippers on it and really start grading things out. So tomorrow's the inspection for the electrical service. I didn't even show you that that's all done. This is where the temporary pole is going to be. This is the transformer box. 3 feet down, gravel here, 4 inches of gravel on the inside of the pad, and this runs 500 feet the other way. Yeah, I think we've had a heck of a weekend. Got a lot of work done. This rake is probably dangerous laying like that. And yeah, that's for the shot. Ooh, I don't know if you saw that. I saw it. These branches coming down too. The wind's picking up. Can't believe I didn't hear thunder with that. There it is. All right. Oh, we're done for the day. Let's go close the container. The road's getting a little beat up today. I started filling back in where the underground water lines were run. Ooh. Just kind of made a mess here, but I got the whole thing to fill still, but started doing it and got it where we can get the car in and out without having a problem. The wind is really picking up right now. We had a groundhog near the garden today, and inside of our burn barrel is some footprints. It looks like a raccoon because it kind of looks like a little hand. We're gonna keep an eye out for those critters. The groundhog was on the next level down, so hopefully he won't come all the way up here. Boy, it's gonna storm.